Hello coloring friends! Today, as always on Sundays, we're going to see the results of our weekly challenge Find and Color. And during the last week we colored illustrations with water, like ponds, sea, rivers, swimming pools, something like that. I've got little bit less illustrations for this theme, 46. Some people wrote me they don't like coloring water. I can't say that I do like coloring water, but there are quite a lot of interesting, beautiful illustrations that I would like to color, and there is some kind of water on those illustrations, so it's good to try and color it from time to time to get more experience and that way to get better at coloring water. I am glad with my results. For the previous week I managed to color 2 illustrations. The first one is by Matt Davidson, and this very romantic scene. I like these illustrations and I wanted to color for a long time, but never I was able to do that, and so I thought that that's my chance. I should color it, and that's what I've got. I think it looks very tropical. There is a lot of water here, like waterfalls, and plus this pond or maybe lagoon, something like that. It was interesting, and I really enjoyed coloring this illustration. These stones I had to draw myself because otherwise this water was like coming from nowhere. I think the stones turn out not so bad, look rather realistic. The mermaid, I tried to do her skin with a little bit greenish tone, not completely green, but just a hint of green. And the sailor is quite a tan guy. And there are some palm trees on the background. And here I used Derwent Lightfast, Derwent Artist, and Polychromos. And of course white gel pen, because while coloring water you can't do it without using white gel pen to cover all those black lines and to depict water itself. So I'm quite happy how the picture turned out. And then I had time for another picture, and I decided to color something from this book, Myth and Magic, though I didn't show it in my last video. But then I remember that there are illustrations with water in this book too, and my wish is to finish this book one day, and so I thought I should color an illustration from this book for this prompt too. I love this book and I love illustrations here, but the problem is they always take quite a lot of time because usually they are very detailed, and I have to think ahead about color combinations, and then all those details take time. But I usually happy with the result when I finish the picture. Same with this illustration. I'm quite happy how it turned out, how it looks now. There's a little bit less details on this illustration than on previous ones that I colored from this book, but still As you can see, there's a lot of flowers, then stars in the sky, some landscape with mountains and river, then these fairies, I believe, and then again some water with reflection in it. But it was fun to color. The illustration is called Night Song, so I tried to create this night atmosphere. Here I used the Derwent Lightfast, Polychromos, a little bit of Prismacolor, and pink gel pen for these flower petals, flowers in their heads, hair, and to cover black lines on their pink dresses. So I'm very pleased with myself that I decided to finish one more illustration from this book, one more edit to make me closer to finishing this book. And so about your illustrations now, as I've told, there are 46 of them, quite from different coloring books. There is Maria Trolle, Circle of Life, of course. Some girls managed to complete the full double spread from Kirby Rosanes books. Well done. Quite a variety of illustrations. So now let's watch it together. So this was our gallery for the previous week, water. Thank you everyone who decided to join this prompt in spite of not loving coloring water. And now it's time to choose another prompt for the upcoming week. For this, I'm taking my magical box and let's find out. So friends, we've got castle as a prompt for coloring during the next week. I find this theme quite interesting because I like such type of themes, a little bit medieval, fantasy style, and I have a lot of illustrations. I believe castles you can find on some maybe fairy illustrations where castle can be seen on the background. I remember one illustration by Laura Rafferty. There's a girl, portrait of a girl, and she has a castle as her hairstyle. So it's not just regular castles. Maybe we will be able to find something unusual like that castle in the hair. So I'm off now to look through my coloring book. See you later. I'm back with some illustrations for the prompts castle to color during the next week. It turned out that I have a lot of illustrations with castles. I'm not going to show you all, and I even didn't check all my coloring books or printed pages, and already I've got quite a big choice, a lot of variety. Castles for any taste. And let me show you a few examples. A Game of Thrones, of course, this book you expect to find a few castles in this book. And we have this beautiful page, and for those who would like to color castle itself, not somewhere on the background in small size but prominent castle, this picture is perfect. Tomislav Tomic, of course, there's a lot of castles in his books, in this one Zemlya Snova and in Villain's Son as well. I looked through this book and there are several illustrations, but all double spreads, and no way I would be able to complete a double spread in Tomic book, but they're really beautiful. I will show you a couple like this one. Another one is maybe a little bit simpler because there's a lot of butterflies, and here we have a castle only and clouds, and that's all. But all these butterflies, I wonder how much time it will take to color all of them. And Joanna Basford, Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. And there is a castle as well in this book. More simple illustration, but quite pretty. With a castle you can see there. The Princess coloring book by Anne Kronheimer. Of course, where is a princess, there should be a castle. And so I did find a couple of castles in this book. This one, very cute illustration. Princess and her castle with some little dragons. And another one is a castle itself, but in more simple style. Kirby Rosanes, Geomorphia, how you pronounce that. The first page is this one with a castle and a dragon and witch. This a little bit different type of castle. Walls within walls. There is interesting double spread with two deer with castles on their backs. Is always quite unusual in Kirby style. Herb Leonard. This guy, this artist, draws a lot of dragons and fairies, fantasy style illustrations, and so you can expect to find castles in his books. And in this very thin coloring book, Fantasy Nouveau, I found 5 illustrations with castles. The first one, a lot of dragons and castles. Then we have castle here, and we have castle here. Then one of my favorite illustrations, we can see a castle on the background. And this one, again quite a small castle. Morgan Fitzsimmons. Again, there is a very small castle on the background, and the main character of this illustration is this fairy. For those who doesn't like to color castles in a big size. Hidden Paradise, Chris Lopez. Here we have a sea castle, underwater castle, with some fish and turtle and seahorse here. A bit different. In this small coloring book, Dragon's Kingdom by Juliana Emerson. This cute picture with a castle, and another one very simple for quick coloring. In a few printed pages, that's the one that I remembered, the first illustration that I remembered for this prompt, Laura Rafferty, and this girl with a castle in her hair, and look at her earrings. And here we have a dragon. But there's a few more illustrations with same idea, castle in hair. This is by Camille. Very unusual, and we have a knight here riding. And the third one, this is by Wishan Ong. It's called I Dream of a Castle. Love it. Then this is by Nadia Z Design, a beautiful girl portrait and a castle there. And the last one by Mark Coyle, Animal Portraits. I really love this one too. A Scottish guy with a castle on the background, and we have this how you call this guy, Loch Ness monster or something. So as you can see, quite a choice. So I hope you too will have no problem with finding an interesting castle illustration. I'll be waiting for your works, And that was all for today. See you next time. Bye.